Potnick and I are getting ready to go on the adventure to Big South Fork. Glad that he invited me along on this. We'll update you as we get down the trail. We're at the Grand Gap Loop. We're going to go down the John Muir Trail to the river and back up the creek, and it should be probably about 8 miles today, and we're just going to take it easy as it goes.
You know, this is why I drive 3.5 hours instead of 20 minutes to the LBL out here.
It's a nice area.
It really is.
We're looking at the Big South Fork River from high above. We were just talking about this is also a bicycle trail right here. Could you imagine being about not paying attention or foggy? It's not a far fetch to drive right off the edge. Springtime in Big South Fork. It rained this morning, but I think it's actually made the trail a little nicer. Everything's about 60 degrees and a little breeze. Nice hike. To our annual Big South Fork group, you're going to recognize this. Let me tell you, it was a lot quicker getting here today starting at Grand Gap. This is what it looks like in the spring. We've introduced Potnick to our little home away from home here. Doesn't look about 3 miles in. Nice little setting out some rain. It looks like the sun's coming back out.
That right over there is really unusual looking. Where it's cut out up under there.
Yeah. Hey, we hiked about 10.5 miles today. We made it pretty much the John Muir side of the Grand Gap Loop all the way down to where Laurel Fork and Station Camp meet. Tomorrow we're going to go up Laurel Fork Creek and probably camp on the other side. Probably a nice leisurely day after today. The sun's come out, the rain is gone, the bugs have also come out, so it's that time of year again. Had a great day hiking with Potnick, and he has a new Dream Hammock Thunderbird that looks pretty cool. We'll show that tomorrow. I'm going to try out one of the hammock shelters that's not Cuban. It's made out of seal nylon tarp and some waterproof breathable material I come across on the back. It weighs about 20 ounces instead of, whatever, 12, 13, 14 ounces. But still a nice combination. I think this is probably the upper temperatures I'd use it in. But we'll give you a report on that. We'll do some camp shots. This is our morning camp. You're looking at Potnick's rig. We'll show it in depth tonight maybe, but it looks like it's got a Dream Hammock, Mount Washington, and a, what kind of tarp? Toxaway tarp. Cool water filtering setup. Most important thing is breakfast. Man, this is just high enough up off the water that you don't get the moisture, but still get a little music and views. Here was my setup last night, kind of tucked away in some trees. It's a sock, you can see it only has the half tarp. Done very well last night. Let the seat drop down, started the night and then pulled it up. It got down to about 45 last night. Coming up on the bridge crossing the Laurel Fork Creek, headed towards Station Camp Creek. In the years past, I've seen this bridge right here be washed out, the water be so high. And we're headed right over there. Everybody was on the annual Big South Fork trips. Medicine Man Poof, this was your house last time. Still looks just as good as ever. Another great view from the hammock. Not on this trip, but other trips. We're at the first of two major creek crossings. It could get up to over the knees for sure. Hot neck's so tall it might make it, but we'll tell you when we get across. We're not going to film any of this because no YouTube bloopers on here. What do you think about it, Hot neck?
Sounds good to me.
Ready. Here's our fire. You probably can't see the running water. It's almost a perfect little campsite. Fire's probably, we might see Pot Neck. He's got the Barca Lounger over there. We're on our way out. We're going to walk the right side of Jack's Ridge Loop to Bandy Creek Campground. We just come up 0.4 miles, almost straight up. Felt a lot better today than it did last trip. Here's a quick shot of the hammock shelter that uses something other than Cuban on the back. It's a waterproof breathable material similar to what's used in rain jackets. The whole back is that. It works extremely well. The in shots down the side, this is all argon on the front and bottom, and then a seal nylon tarp. Slept in it. It got down to 41 last night, which we weren't testing the code temperatures. We were testing how warm you could sleep in. I took a couple hour nap in 70 degrees today without an underquilt in there. Done just fine. But the non-Cuban version of the airship. I'm going to give you a quick view of the front side. This is the seat that it'll come all the way down to expose the hammock and quilt. We can just pull it right here. I got a set rail and it'll come down partially. And then you just have the hammock in here. This is waterproof breathable right here. This is the argon. You can pop the hammock out if you need to and just set this back like a regular tarp. Back in. Quick, easy. Pull the seat up from inside. And you're back up to full seat. Here we got Pot Neck's rig. I'll let him tell you what we got on it, but it's a nice setup that we like here. We're also going to show some underquilt suspension he has.
That's my dream hammock that I just got. Really like it. That's a Mountain Washington 3 under it, and I'm using the pack hooks that the Dream Hammock has on it, a little carabiner, and adjusting here so I can adjust all 4 corners separately.
So you just, all you have to do is pull that up and it pulls. Yeah. It's a pretty cool little setup using the pack hooks on the Dream Hammock.
And also we've got it run through the tie out using a little bit different than the Dream Hammock design, but I've got it tied out usually to my tarp stake, and so I've got the JRB have these tie out loops that match the Hennessy, and they also work on these on the Dream Hammock. So I really like it. Slept good last night, having a good time here at the Big South Fork and hanging out. I've got my tarp folded back. This is the Toxaway with the 2QZQ door and pole mod, which I also have really enjoyed. Worked good. I've had it in some rain and wind, and it worked out really good.